Inside Story Uganda. Real source of political.
Etuse.
Abasajja babagambye. You see, when you want to find the truth, is it true that when this Mobuzigaro died, they didn't take the body to Mulago? They took the body to Nagulu. Kati Kulu, abasajja bagitekeera. Does she come from Kazo? Yabadde member w'emuke ebyo byabwe. Mine was to deliver the message. Kati abantu yesterday babadde bankubira amasimu. Budget nembagamba omulambo tebagukyusiza ddwaliro gulaga mu mochari ate mu mochari temuba dokita omulambo bateesa ntegeka za kuziika. That's a budgetary speech. If they wanted you to put in any pots, they would have read a proposed budget, provoke your ideas, and then make a final decision. But the budget is going to be debated by Parliament, and to tell you, bibakola nze mbasekerera. Fe mu Luswayiri kasolaba ekintu ekikadde oba history tukita zamani. Kama unaona mtu anafanya kazi sawa sawa na Matia Kasaija hiyo zamani, waliwo ekintu nebwebanga tongo ojagala otya oba esaati ng'ojagala otya ogiwa independence. Yes. Kakati obanga ababaka ba Parliament abagenda okuyisa budget babadde million 8, they're going to be rubber stamps. Kati ekyo kikolera luddawo. Noganzi senga w'omugole agenda okuwa omukazi nga temulabaganangako ye wamugulidde dda mmotoka. Kitegeeza addamu okudibetinga aba amalaki. Why do you include 40 million ezokuwa ababaka ba Parliament tebamanyi bye bakola hiyo zamani? Kama unaona mtu anafanya kazi sawa sawa na Matia Kasaija hiyo zamani, kwa Kiswahili tunasema zamani. Anabaka Parliament bayinza zigana.
Aba opposition nawulide bazizizayo.
Bazijjayo namboze ezijjayo ne baseka ku account kumanje bazijja balimba. Nibaga nse oyo senyonyi nezaake okugenda okugwa mongi mu kifuba bakube video badduke for negotiated it bakube video senyonyi adanga muna mu Museveni obazaake basobola video nibakuba senyonyi bane. These are hypocrites. Mfunda ne nambo za faking sickness na bulawo. Yes, kuba yetu inawo mukwatira.
Nenga ogamba ati ayiri nkanagwa kagari.
Aya, atenga inana webijambiye ya mulumbewe. Nemwe namboze mumanyi. Nze nabera ne namboze bangade.
Nze nkukirizo mumanyi.
Yamponya ko omukazi yali agenda okunzita. Namboze nangamba. Namboze ngambe bintu bingi. And she's intelligent. Namboze yangamba nti omanyi abagezi n'abagezi ne bazaala omwana abamusiru. Kwanze nalabanga abasajja omanya abasajja bangi baagala okuzaala abaana abagezi n'abakazi baagala okuzaala. That's why bagula sipamu z'abantu okuzaala abaana abagezi. Omukazi yagula emmotoka n'agiteeka mu manya gange n'agireeta ng'atuwa miliyoni buli weekend.
Ngayagala ki
nga tubeera ne namboze babiri mu nnyinaze. Nanga that woman is dangerous. He's after you.
Ate abatabula.
Eventually, when I looked at the conduct of the woman, nakizuula yali spy. Omanyi bagenda ne babalima mu nnywa nnyo omwenge njagala nnyo. Nze abantu b'embeera nabo bakimanyi sinywa mwenge. But this is something. Nti nga mukozi mbadde mwogerako ebyo negundi bwe baamukola. Ani Uhuru Kenyatta always in photographs with reddish eyes, sponsored by Raila Odinga. Chovola bakaluke Kenya kaganyi Raila Odinga yali abatwala Hague, Ruto ne Uhuru ne bakola kye bayitanga prayer rallies kutukondemu Raila. Kakati abachikuyo bajjayo tebe wagamba peasants are not like you. abantu ba bulijjo bakyali honest. Omuntu agamba nti walwawo campaign ngikolera gundi namugamba nti omuvubuka kyamani wabavuka mu kitundu mwenna ababba ajja gwakolera, but these people are honest. The ordinary people, this is what is affecting Kenyan politics. The gundi Raila ayinza obutakiria gundi, all of these people, like history repeats itself. Most of Uhuru's allies have run away from him. The way people deserted the country when he was anointed by Moi. Peasants, the way you look at peasants, simwe mukola. A peasant mwana ange nchikole nti abanawulira batya. These peasants. Hadi mbagamba nti yo budget eringa mbaga. Ekigambo budget kiva mu kigambo kya Luyonani ekitegeeza enkuluze ya kabaka. Yes, kubanga mmwe abantu abasinga obungi biri ebigambo bibiri abantu bye batategeera. A kingdom and a king, they are different issues. You can be a king without a kingdom. Kingdom kitegeeza omunyago, ensi yo gye wawamba. Bw'oba tolina nsi yo gye wawamba, you are no longer a kingdom. Nti Lugadi kye yasooka okukola kabaka wa Buganda Mwanga yasooka mujjako versus ensi envujjirizi Busoga, Kiziba, Bukerewe. Abaganda bagenda Bukerewe. Abakerewe balogo nnyo. Tewali bantu basooka kubi baali bagenze Bukerewe wano. Nze ndi omu ku bo. Bukerewe osanga abasajja abakulu nga bali ku nnyanja beeso omweso nga batudde. Abakerewe abaana bavulira ku nnyanja. Omukerewe can retrieve even a needle. Bwemba mukola amagendo buli mwaka sukayo byamunete wamuli anti sika bugali. Anti eryato waliwo eryato eritikatata nebalekayo akantu bwekati. Kati eryato kaselifuuka mu storm buli mwatula ku byamunne. The wisdom of a fisherman. Oli agasika bugali nawe toja. But when you trace Mukerewe can even trace a needle. Kakati the moment Buganda bajijjako vassal states by Lugard Mwanga nasaininga endagaano, he remained a king without a kingdom. Tulina kye tuyita zimu, capitalism, nazism, anism, capitalism, Catholicism. Tulaba Islam, Ainazim, Islam, Islamic fundamentalism. You must add on fundamentalism, but Islam taina zimu. Zimu kitegeeza tiwaliwo omuntu eyiye ekintu kye n'akikuleetera n'okitomera. Mwe muli zimu, communism, capitalism, marxism, kingdom, dome. Kakati waliwo abantu nga bo emitwe gyabwe si dome, freedom dembelyo, human rights byabangi. N'abantu basoma logiki. Kati nze omutwe gwange nwanye emyaka 24 butanzijako head domu.
Omwa muli mu domu.
Omwange muli mu domu, omutwe gwange gulina domu. Head domu. Tosobola kunzijako head domu. Bwonzijako head domu mba nfuuse dustbin. Head domu. Toyaba kakati Mr. and Mrs. Okitegeera oli Mr. oli property.
Mr.
Waliwulidde kwanga bakugamba mukunja bamukutene muko omusajja ne waliwo omusajja gwe bakwata ne musajja w'omukazi
era baga musajja omufumbo bamukwatidde mbwenzi.
Ne bagambako ekitegeeza ono Mrs. yavaako dda domu, omusajja yayina domu. Kasi kibanga ku muntu ego teguli head domu. Ekitegeeza ko tekyolebwoleza oli muzimu.
Oli muzimu.
Kasobera muzimu okiriza budget eyo zimu. Omutwe gwo gwagenda dda tokyayina domu. Ogwange guyina head domu. Teguyina head zimu. Yes. Kakati when you are analyzing mbawulira boogera nawulidde omukyala w'Essemba Buleeyo ng'ayogerera budget ng'aliga eyakagiraba. No, tukimanyi lumonde bw'omulya n'ebijanjaalo n'omugoyo, what is the difference?
wali baba bayongeddemu kuba bagula omugoyo,
but when you vomit
ebyebimu naye ate era mubeeramu
emyoga
ng'omuzigo
entandikwa emyoga ne parish level byebimu,
parish modo
byebimu, but
babisembeza kumpi
esabwe omuzigo content zezimu, but you change a name.
enteekateeka
ali kyenkubuulira
emyoga giri wanene naye wano Paris tusembedde kumpi
wapi is the same. Bwe alisoma logic omusajja atugamba ti abasibe baali bali amagye abiri n'amenva abiri mu morning ng'ekiro tebalina kye balya, ne baleeta prison boss omulala n'agamba nti muli amagye abiri n'amenva abiri ekiro, eryenvu limu n'eggi limu ku makya, mulye eryenvu limu n'eggi limu ekiro. Baakuba mu ngalo nti there was a change. What was the change?
damu akantu akologiki.
Yes. Abasibe baabawanga amenva abiri n'amagye abiri nga tebali
ekyaggulo naye nga wano balya kimu.
Ne baleeta prison warden, head wa prison omupya n'agamba nti mulye eggi limu n'eryenvu limu ku makya, olweggulo mulye eryenvu limu n'eggi limu. Baakuba mu ngalo
nti there is change.
What was the change? The change was only
separating among kitegedde
nebo baali tebakitegeera nti there is no change, titwali change, nti bwona byebimu byonna nembaga budget eringa mbaga. Look what a wedding, embaga baleeta entebe oba omukolo gwonna obutebe ne bubeerawo bungi, abantu baba bakyali batono banaye mweyongere eno mu maaso. Yeno ye budgetary proposals mweyongere eno mu maaso. All of you are located. Kasi abagenyi abanene bajja bannange munjazike ku matuugamu
tetwagala kuwulira
bannange, entebe muziveeko ezo mu maaso muzirekere abagenyi. Kati abagenyi abanene bagenda okulabika ku budget. Buli we batadde sente wonna, the permanent secretaries, those who are handling money bagenda baba bajjewo. To me, reading a budget is not important, or allocating money is not important. What is important? Kujjamu njoka za nnamimu eziri mu mwana. Waliwo omukyalo omu yali mugezi, omwana wa mwijja we baamumulekera nga bawaagula amata buli kaseera naye nga amuyiira buyiizi. Bannange omwana ono bw'aba anywa yeeyiira. Omwana kati nga bba tasobola kutegeera nti omwana tebamuwa amata, omukazi ono amata agayiwa kuki. But what exposed the woman nti omwana yayongera kendeera paka lwe yagenda ewa dokita n'amugamba omwana wo talya, nti all the things I buy, can you tell me that my wife is denying this woman kubyengula nga ate n'olugoye ndulabako. Kakati ebyo bya bajeti zammwe nti olaba nawuliddeyo wesembabule nga byayogera nenga oba yakoma mu pitu oba yina ddomu obazimu. Are you saying that this is the first budget? What if I'm an opposition leader and I read the past budget ey'omwaka guli yakolaki? If you put money in UDB and I ask you now, give us a list of those people who access the money in UDB. Tell me if I'm a serious opposition leader. And that's why in Africa you are lucky. People don't refer to manifestos. Museveni alina manifesto implementation committee naye yagamba amasanyaze neyekola miliyoni 100 kitutu yazikuba ku mutwe. tezina gyeziri milioni 14 mulyagonja nakola report akatabo ndi kasoma ndi bakasomera mu wano. The people who wanted to implement Museveni's manifesto ku million bonsajja bamuyita to where yali musajja ngava lukungere ne yinginia Lutwama akulo yabakwata n'abasiba ababbi webali ababba sente webali, and that one was not implemented. $400 million kati mbulira yekirala kakati okujjako budget esobola okukola ng'ababbi bakubye olukuŋŋaana ne bagamba tetukyaddamu kubba tuleke gavumenti etambule. Tewali gavumenti mu Africa eyina good ideas like that of Museveni, but Museveni's problem kyekiri kye nabagambye ti whoever comes up singa oyo Kasayija bali tebamuzanyisa omanyi bw'oba oyagala okulwanyisa abayigizi turn yourself into a fool. Okimanyi ekyo ti if you turn yourself into a fool oyita ku bayigirize. Let me give you an example. Musafadis yali former vice president wa Idi Amin. Akakiiko kabamuzeyi nagenda kaliko Edward Sekandi kali kamukisa. Edward Sekandi became vice president, yali leading council ngatula ku bench. Mr. Justice Order Kidu Makubuya became a minister. Dr. Luyombya oyoye yagenda mba madivani ne bamuwamba yava mu nsiko n'anyiiga kubanga bayisimbawo ne Kayonde enalimu ne wagira Kayonde ina anyiiga kwaliko balishaki mulamuzi kati nze nali translator nga nzimba muzivunulira abatamanyi guno akati Musafadisi bwe yajja Sekandi namubuuza nti waliko vice president wa Uganda nti ye walaba ku constitution nti ogimanyi constitution ya Uganda njimanyi sibye bino bye mwampadde nga nzija wano someone aziyita ki constitution baloya ne baseka basekandi namubuuza did Sekandi ayina shuma did you during the economic war demand Mulago to take over Mulago hospital? Musafadisi Fanadamonti, yes. Why did you want to take over Mulago? My other colleagues were taking big things. I also wanted to take Mulago because it was big.
It was big.
Now Mugamba, do you remember at any time that you said in Nyendo, addressing people in Nyendo, that if they kill a soldier, it will kill 700 people? Hey! Nalijagala ba civilian batya baki naye ate bwe nagenda mu barracks nabakanga olukanga luyitirivu mugeze bonna nabakanga ogondi very short interview gwe twali tulowooza ntugenda omujjamu amawulire maki kakati Mr. Justice Order eyali chairman namugamba Mr. Leading Counsel, do you have any more question to the witness? Sekandi nagamba my lord the chairman, gentlemen commissioners, gentlemen and lady commissioners, if the man has told you that he has never seen a constitution, what else can I ask him? Mustafa yagenda sikoti free. He presented himself as a what? A fool. This is what Kasayija is playing, and this is survival. Two, you look at the event. Why did Mukakadizi come up and say that 10 billion was illegal ku budget, a day before the budget? I have a recording on a video where Mukakadizi met a group of 2 younger men at Munyonyo, and they were asking him whether he could help them to get money. Mukakanizi said, the budget is tight, gentlemen, I cannot help you to get free money. The following day was removed from the treasury to Prime Minister's office. Yomuyita musiru lwaki ekibaleetedde a day before, but n'abakooba abadde alwanyisa ani byenkya tuzita preemptive arrests, preemptive dismissals. Ti mwino okudira embwa yammwe ewunya ne mufuna ejjirikiti gwe mukikanjuga byanda alatabanga 10 ababba oluguudo lekati sibamanyiddwa mwavu muzibu. Nasali mwali mu $10 million mu Judicial Service Commission nga bamanyita sobola zirya ne bagoba embwa muli agonja namubateera ku bbali. Ono Kirunda owa court by reefs, they were reviewing the case nga yayina evidence court by reef will demolish the church. The Anglican church denied that the church was no longer theirs. Tebanga kona yabo ne bajegana Kiboneka and company advocates. Omulamuzi nabaga siyamu oyo omusajja w'omundeba simanyi bamwitani dozi dodo n'atuula nabo bakulisayo banne n'abaga nti bane tugigule ne bamuga fuluma church baagala gikubawo balina bye baagala okukolerawo. Aladisi omuwala yaliwo bamukyapa empi Mukasa Lubaka South eyagendawo bamukubirawo Luwalira yakoma wala bali mukubye ng'ani atunze church
ani
Land Commission ya Anglican Church etula Nakasero. Omulamuzi, do you believe that the judge was a mad person to order the demolition of the church? They denied it ownership. Kakati Nakalema yakwatani yakwata Kirunda. Why? Ndi Kirunda ya in evidence. When you reveal the case, the argument will come. Who demolished the church? Kirunda, a court by reef. Where did you get orders? From the judge. The judge will come up and say, read my judgment. Onobayino mujja one bamusiba. Neze mbabuuza nti abantu abo bemusiba mugenda kubeera nabo era omusango gwa kirabo gwakomyewo. The girlfriend way and the boyfriend way yamutta. Eyo case is a stupid case. No mulamuzi bamujja mu retirement. Ne bamuwa emisango 3 ogwa nantaba n'ogwoyo nga ali biased. Omulamuzi Mukebero bati yava mu retirement ne bamuwa assignment yeyo. The intention was to know omwana oyo kirabo ava mu family y'Abagemeire bali bamaze kizuula. Museveni wanted Bagemeire to become the first female chief justice. Uyu mwana ava mu family y'Abagemeire. Omwana yasoma emyaka 5 Makerere obwa dokita nga bambuliza tebiriyo. Olunaku omuwala olwe bamutta omwana yali mu night prayer Makerere oyo kirabo. Ku simu ye communication omuwala yali mu eyo area naye yakubira she made nze bajje wange mu miso. The girl made several disparate phone abamukwata bali bagala sente manifere tukamwabo. Nyina w'omwana n'alowooza kitaawe ayina amayembe teyamusaddaasi is a former MP yagula amayembe. I know all of these cases. Nti my survival byuma byange nze byuma byange biraba buli muntu yenna. Even last night there was a meeting as following it up. They are reforming the organ business. I clap for myself. One of the reasons why they were planning to kill me was the organ business. Abakazi bali batuse mu 20 a day abazaala no wange bamutira mu Albert Cook. There was a cell in Albert Cook operated by the Chinese. Kale wewunyi aba China ba communist nga bali mu gundi. Masaka waliyo nga bamuyita Namaganda. The pioneer of this business yali Professor Kanyerezi. Kanyerezi came and confessed to me. Kanyerezi yekoja wampanga onali again. I have the recording and video. This Kanyerezi confessing to me. Have it. Kakati eyo kakati let them regulate otafire na mukubidde ne mugamba. You know. Yes. I'm watching the people discussing your directive. Which one? That you gave a directive that all of our children who are going outside for labor, who are being exported for labor purposes, otafire yawadde ekiragiro. Mumawulire tikirimu. Buli mwana kwe batwala ebweru agende mu kadiki clinic yekola ku maje emukebere oyina ensigo mmeka ebyenda ekibumba kiramu mutima mwebuli bamuwe fayiro ye baparents be bagisigaze when this person comes back with less than tukwate abantu.
And in the case of Karamoja, we found it was only 6 children out of 100 who finished primary 7. And you remember during the elections, I was talking about it. Because when we introduced UPE in 1997, the idea was everybody to go to school, universal education. Universal primary school education. And the reason why these children drop out is because of the school charges. I've been telling you about this so many times, begging, talking, as if I want people to come and work on my farm or do me a favor. So now this is a big problem for the country. To find that children, and you can see it in the elections, I was talking about it. In the primary school, the enrollment is 10 million something, 10 point something, almost 11. But in the secondary schools, only 2 million. Where have the other 8 gone? Of course, in the 10 million, it did not come out so that many of them drop out. Of course, many of them drop out. They don't go to the secondary school. So therefore, I call on the political class, especially the NRM people, to say no. We must budget for free and even compulsory primary school education. We budget for it and we stop these teachers greedy for money, collecting money from these children in government schools. This is what I wanted from the beginning, but I can't do it alone. Uganda doesn't belong to me. From 1997, this was my wish. When we introduced UPE, the idea was everybody should finish secondary education. So we should not be talking of 2 million children in the secondary school, we should be talking of 10 million in the secondary school, because secondary school years are S1 to S6, 6 years, they're almost the same as P1 to P7. So why should you have 10 million, almost 11 million in primary and only 2 million in secondary? Where have the others gone? So we may not do it this year because this budget is now finished, but in the next financial, 1 or 2 financial years, we should really work and insist on free and compulsory primary, maybe even with secondary education, and stop all these pharaohs who are looking for money through education. Get out, go in the primary school, private schools and look for money there, not in the government ones. Disgusting. Sending children out of school because we are looking for money, for allowances, for what? It's really disgusting. Now, the other big issue, because people talk of problems, but me, I really, many of them, I'm used to problems. And when I see what you call problems, I say, Bambi, these ones don't know what problems look like. I feel very sorry. But for me, the real problem for Uganda and Africa is lack of food. If there is no food, no mhogo. When I say food, I mean mhogo. I mean bananas. I mean akalo. If the akalo was not there, I don't know what I will do. I mean maize. Maize is important for kawunga, for animal feeds, for fish meals, beans, of course, milk, amate munangri, beef. These are the ones that I would not sleep if we had none or very little of these. Of course, sugar and other things. If spaghetti doesn't come, those who eat spaghetti, I don't know how they do it. You try to put it in their mouth, it is refusing coming. Why don't you do a nogo? You know a nogo? A noga. When Mnyankore gets a piece of karo and does like this and puts a hole. What do they call it in Luo? This one, Omona is a former Luo, he doesn't know anything. Somebody help me, please. I'm behaving unparliamentary, very sorry, very sorry. In Parliament, they don't really say. I will find out and tell you next time. So, as long as Uganda is producing enough food, there is no problem we cannot solve. But the danger to the food is number one, some laziness. This 39% of the homes whom want to, under parish model, to say, please join the money economy and produce for the stomach and for the pocket. But the other danger can be lack of rain or unreliable rain. So that's why in our budgeting, there is now something about irrigation. But in the future budgets, I would like us to do more for the irrigation so that we stabilize agriculture. There is no possibility of shortage of food, even if the rain has got some erraticness. But irrigation means water. So we go to the environment. So please, all of us must tell these people, especially the ones, the old problem of the wetlands, which was created by the British, was in Busoga and in Bukedi and in Kigezi, where they misled our people to go in the wetlands, thinking that that is a good thing to do. These ones, I have a program to get them out by compensating them because they were misled. They didn't do it themselves, they were misled by the government. But in the other areas, the people who are going to the wetlands are going there by themselves and against our appeals. And I demand that all these people get out of the wetlands unconditionally. We don't have to negotiate because they knew it was not right, they insist. Even here in Kampala, I see some of them encouraging a little bit in Rubiji swamp and these other swamps. So therefore, once we bring back our water, because 20% of Uganda is under fresh water, we are so lucky, then we shall be able to irrigate easily and have a secure agriculture, and that can give us problems to solve other problems. If there is a shortage of cooking oil from Malaysia, we can easily replace it. In fact, people have come up. Very soon we shall be exporting that cooking oil instead of importing from Malaysia. So many people are involved with sunflower, with simsim, with palm oil. Very soon you will see that Uganda will be a big exporter. The only problem we may not easily solve is the problem of wheat, because we don't have, in Kapchora they try to grow wheat, but I don't think the land is enough. I will talk with the people of agriculture whether wheat needs cold climate or what. That I have never really bothered with wheat myself. I've never studied it. Then on petroleum, in the next few years we shall have our own petroleum, as you know. But of course, even when we have our own petroleum, the price, we cannot undersell our petroleum. It will have to be at par with the world price minus transport. So yes, it somehow deals with it, but not entirely. With fuel, we may have to. I think the real answer to expensive petroleum is rail transport. If we repair our railway to Pakwach, like the minister is saying, and we transport many of the things on the railway, then the demand for fuel, for petrol will go down, and diesel, at least for cargo. And later on with Kasese, that is the real answer to the problem of high petroleum prices. So I congratulate the minister, but I'm glad you have not killed me when I have wake. I have boasted a bit about the achievements of the NRM. Okwesi Mirana, say, didn't I tell you? Don't you see how much better off we are? Apoyo Rubanga.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for laying down the various projects and the programs that you intend to implement during the financial year 2022-2023. I sincerely want to thank my very able and active members of Parliament for ensuring that this day comes to reality. Thank you so much for working tirelessly for ensuring that the day comes to reality. You've had honorable members as executive embarks on implementation of the budget from 1st July 2022. It is our noble duty to do our oversight role so as to ensure that the funds that have been allocated are being used for intended use and there is value for money. Mr. President, as has been the case before, thank you for having a clear vision of where the country is moving and championing this vision with commitment and dedication. And we are also happy that you've talked about free education, and members of Parliament, our first priority in 2023-2024 should be budgeting for free education. I once again want to thank you, Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for fulfilling your obligation of tabling the budget for the financial year 2022-2023. The rest is now left to the technical team. Whereas it has always been our practice to meet and interact after such an important occasion like today, the current circumstances do not permit us to do so because COVID is still with us. COVID is still with us. We can interact when we are having the workshop. You'll have everything at your exposure.